The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. My name is Ron Chuckett. Welcome to the program for this 9th day of June, 2023. And we have the second and third best records in all of Major League Baseball on your computer screens right now. It is the Oakland Athletics, who are 77-44, just 2 games back behind the front-running Seattle Mariners, and the wide leader in the American League Central, the Chicago White Sox, who are 77-42. Both of these teams figure to be in the playoffs come, when we get there in about a month or so. Actually, I'm trying to think. We're going about 3 more weeks. So we'll be into September, and then we'll be on vacation. And so, yeah, about 6 more weeks left to go in the season. These two teams will be there. Rainy night here at Comiskey Park. The White Sox at 77-42. The A's are 77-47. And, again, the A's, you expected to be there. They won over 100 games and were the wild card in real life in 2001. The White Sox, they are playing way above their heads. So we'll figure it out. It's Dan Wright and Eric Hilgess next on Retro Sports Network. As Retro Sports Network presents Action 2001 and Action PC Season Odyssey. Today, from Comiskey Park in Chicago, Illinois, it is the Chicago White Sox and the Oakland Athletics. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. So as we said, a rainy day here in Chicago, 71 degrees, light rain, calm winds. These games of August 17th to Friday night in 2001. Dan Wright will get the call. Dan making his 4th start. He's 0-1 with a 5.49 earned run average. How you doing, Bernie? Dan is just 23 years old, fastball at 92 and a fly ball pitcher. He'll make 8 more starts on the season. He took his first decision, a loss to the Mariners almost a week ago on the 11th, 3-0, 6 innings, 98 pitches, 10 hits, 3 runs, all earned, a home run, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. So overall for Dan, 19 2/3, 30 hits, 17 runs, 12 earned, 2 homers. He has walked 9 and struck out 11. So with the lineup he'll face, it's Johnny Damon leading off in center field. The Giambi brothers go second and third. I don't know which one is which. It just says Giambi. One is the DH, and the other one's a first baseman. Kind of like the old Patty Duke show. Jermaine Dye cleans up in right field. Terrence Long in left will bat 5th. Miguel Tejada at short will go 6th. Eric Chavez at third, batting 7th. Ramon Hernandez behind the plate goes 8th. And Frank Menachino, I think, in his band of cherries, will bat 9th and play second base. Eric Hilgess, who we saw earlier, I believe last week, should throw about 100 pitches. Identical cousins, because that happens. There you go, Jamie, you got the joke. Cousins, identical cousins. Carlos Lee is a 6 and a 6 at left. Aaron Rowan a 4 and a 3 in center. Maglio Ordonez a 4 and a 9 in right. Herbert Perry, the man, the myth, the legend, a 4 at third. Jose Valentin a 4 at short. Ray Durham a 7 at second. Paul Konerko an 8 at first. Johnson a 4 and a 5 behind the plate. And Mr. Wright is a 7 on the mound with an 8.82 fielding percentage. You think years from now, when they comb the data servers over at Google, a future civilization will go, what was his mental malfunction? Just kind of, doing something that's not real, and then randomly breaking into song before going back into character. Johnny Damon is hitting .243. He's hit 8 home runs and has driven in 40. Over the course of the replay, Wright winds and deals, and Damon sends this one into shallow center field. Rowan almost on the infield dirt. Makes a catch for an out, 1 away. So Jeremy is the DH, and Jason is the first baseman. Jeremy at .296, 14 homers, and 51 RBI. Pitch to Giambi, draws the walk, ball 4. How you doing, Big Dave? I don't, well, remember, the White Sox have to contend with Cleveland, Jamie, and that lead, I believe, is double digits. They have the biggest lead in baseball of all 6 divisions. Oakland comes into this one. This is game 122 for Oakland. And Oakland is still 2 games behind Seattle. Dave is not looking at the right city walls because he still hasn't found what he's looking for. Jason Giambi at .350, 38 homers, and 112 RBI. Yep, Brain is still stuck in the old East-West. Certainly not the case in 2001. And remember, Seattle has won 79 games. So as good as Oakland is, Seattle is their competition. Pitch to Jason. Ball 4. So Wright has walked the Giambi brothers. Brothers, identical brothers. Jermaine Dye over from Kansas City, hitting .226, 6 homers, and 12 RBI. So runners on first and second, 1 out. Dye swings, Rowan into right center. Will make the catch, 2 out. So here is Terrence Long hitting .297 homers and 73 RBI. Long first inning for Wright. Ground ball to Durham. Ray throws it over to Konerko. And all that just to say no runs, no hits, and they leave on 2. Half an inning in the books. It's Oakland nothing. Here come the White Sox. I still think because of the way that picture was cropped, that it looks like Eric is holding a doobie. It's a baseball, really. Eric making his 5th start of the year, 2-0 with a save and an earned run average of .292. He became available on June 30th, 28 years old, fastball at 94 and a ground ball pitcher. His last start came against the Yankees right here on Retro Sports Network 6 days ago. A 5-3 win, which he didn't factor into the decision, but pitched very well, thank you very much. 6 innings, 105 pitches, 8 hits, 3 runs, all earned. He walked 2 and struck out 7. Overall, 37 innings for Eric, 12 runs, all earned, 4 homers. He's walked 12 while striking out 40. And here's the White Sox lineup for you. Ray Durham at second will lead. Jose Valentin at short will bat second. Maglio Ordonez in right will go third. Paul Konerko at first will clean up. Jose Canseco, the DH, batting 5th. Carlos Lee in left will go 6th. Herbert Perry at third, batting 7th. Aaron Rowan in center will bat 8th. And Mark Johnson behind the plate goes 9th. Wright threw 27 pitches in his half of the first and didn't give up a hit, but he did walk 2. Defensively for Oakland, Terrence Long a 3 and a 3 in left. Johnny Damon a 5 and a 3 in center. Jermaine Dye an 8 and a 9 in right. Eric Chavez a 10 at third. Tejada a 6 at short. Menachino a 7 at second. Jason Giambi a 5 at first. Ramon Hernandez a 6 and a 3 as a catcher. And Hilgis is a 2 on the mound with a 1,000 fielding percentage. Durham steps in at .298, 16 triples, 16 homers, and 62 RBI. Ground ball to Tejada, who makes a nice stop, throws to Giambi, 1 out. Every once in a while, Jamie, I'll forget that the Colts moved to Indianapolis 39 years ago, and refer to them as Baltimore, despite the fact that Baltimore has the old Browns. Here's Jose Valentin. Jose at 266, 20 homers, and 60 RBI. Popped up left side, long. Can't get there, and somebody from Joliet made the catch. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jose. Eric winds and deals. That's into center field. Damon looks way back there, and that ball is long gone. You can put it on the board. Yes. So Valentin hits his 21st of the year. And the White Sox go up 1-0. Just one of those that just kept rising and rising and rising until it ran out of ballpark. So the White Sox off to a fast start. 2 batters in, 1-0 lead for Ordonez. Maggie at 333, 25 homers and 102 RBI. Hill just deals. Ground ball to first. Giambi takes it to the bag for the out. 2 away for Paul Konerko at 305, 26 homers and 97 RBI. Struck him out. Hill just ends it. Down to chase a fastball out of the zone. The solo homer for Valentin puts the White Sox on top, 1-0 after 1. So Tejada, Chavez, and Hernandez to face right. Miguel at 277, 23 homers, and 96 RBI. Right deals, fly ball to right field. Ordonez will make the catch, 1 out. So here's Chavez, Eric at 283, 25 homers, and 78 RBI. I'm looking at Gardner's YouTube comment, and all I can think of is, can you imagine if Vin Scully sang modern rock songs? And these city walls, I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Pitch to Chavez, popped up right side. Konerko on the grass will make the catch, 2 out. Imagine Vinny doing Oasis. And so I ask of you, brothers, where were you when we were getting high? Yeah, I just can't see that, can you? Here's Ramon Hernandez. Ramon at 232, 11 homers, and 37 RBI. Fly ball left field. Rowan goes into left center and will make the catch, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After an inning and a half, 1-0 Chicago. So here's the forlorn Jose Canseco. Hitting 259, 6 homers, and 16 RBI. Better inning for Wright, not necessarily pitch count-wise. Hill just threw 23 in the first for Oakland. Got him. A 1-2 changeup fouled in the mid of Hernandez for the first out. Carlos Lee is hitting 284, 21 homers, and 81 RBI. Hill just kicks and fires. Struck him out. That's 3 now for Eric. A hard fastball swung on and missed. 2 out for Perry. Herbert at 248, 7 homers, and 31 RBI. I think I put everyone to sleep. Little number down to third. Chavez has it over to Giambi, and that will retire the side. So the White Sox go quietly in the second. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 2, 1-0 Chicago. So Menachino, Damon, and Jeremy Giambi here in the third. Frank hitting 221, 15 homers, and 44 RBI. Chopper to third. Perry in the hole. Over to Konerko, 1 out. So opening 9 for Wright. 2 1/3, no hits, 2 walks, and no strikeouts. That's the good news. The bad news is he's thrown 50 pitches to get there. Johnny Damon is 0 for 1. Valentin in on the wet grass over to Konerko for the out. 2 away for Jeremy Giambi, who walked his first time up. He and his brother drew the honors in the first. Ground ball. Durham can't make the play. He was on the grass, and he bobbled it. Again, a light rain here in Chicago, and Durham just couldn't make the transfer to his throwing hand. 2 out for Jason Giambi, who, again, drew a walk his first time up. 2 out, runner on. Jason grounds 1 to Valentin. Hard throw to Konerko, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, and the error does not hurt. Bottom of the 3rd here in Chicago. White Sox 1, Oakland nothing. So if you're interested, as Aaron Rowan steps in, 244, 3 homers, and 14 RBI, I think I have figured out how I'm going to do the playoffs. So if you're interested, let me know. Struck him out. That's 4 for Hilges. A 1-2 fastball got him looking. And that'll bring up Mark Johnson. Mark at 253, a home run and 5 RBI. To Tejada in the hole, over to Giambi for the out. And there's 2 away. So the opening 9 for Hilges, 2 2/3. The 1 hit, the solo homer by Valentin, who's on deck. No walks and 4 strikeouts. He threw 48 pitches over his opening 9. This will be a bullpen game for sure. Durham is 0 for 1. Slow ground ball to Chavez. Eric has to hurry his throw, and Durham is out by a step. So, no runs, no hits, and no errors. We go to the 4th here at Comiskey. It's still 1-0 White Sox. So Dye, Long, and Tejada to face Wright, who has thrown 64 pitches through 3 innings. Dye is 0 for 1. Wright deals. There's a base hit into left field. Lee will cut it off. And for Oakland, I believe, is Dye going for 2? He is. The throw to Durham, and Jermaine has his 4th double of the year. So Dye just kind of hightailed it around first. Lee with a decent arm didn't really stand much of a chance. So that's the first hit for Oakland. There's Long. Terrence is 0 for 1. Right back up the box. Durham over the mound, throws to Konerko, and Long is retired. Dye moves on to 3rd. 1 out for Tejada, who was 0 for 1. Long gone, right field, well struck, and the A's go up 2-1. Tejada juiced that one all the way into right center by the visiting team dugout. Actually, I think the White Sox bullpen is the dugout is the third base side. So that was hit near the White Sox pen. His 24th of the year. And Oakland goes up 2-1. That ball was hammered. And that'll bring up Chavez, who's 0 for 1. And he draws the walk. So Wright has not been the right answer in this one for the Chi Sox. Here's Ramon Hernandez. He's 0 for 1. Johnson says, let's try to keep this within touch, okay? Hernandez into shallow center. Rowan coming in, rides a swing, makes the catch, 2 out. So Chavez on first, 2 out for Menachino, who is 0 for 1. Frank swings, shallow right center again. Rowan having to do a lot of runs and makes a diving catch against the wet grass. However, the 2-run homer from Tejada has put the A's up after 3.5 by the score of 2-1. How you doing, Mike from the truck? Having his lunch at MGM National. Hopefully the air is better for you today. Standings as we play the games of Friday, August 17th. The Yankees lead the American League East by 5 over Boston. Chicago's lead over Cleveland is 9.5. Everyone else is well out of it. And in the West, Seattle just by 2 over Oakland. In the National League, Florida by 2 over Philly, 5 over Atlanta. Houston now has the biggest lead in all of baseball, 11 over the Cubs and 12.5 over the Cardinals. Meanwhile, San Francisco's lead over Arizona is 2.5. The Dodgers have woken up a bit to be within 4, and Colorado is 5.5. If the season ended today, your wild cards would be Arizona and Oakland. And your playoff series would be Chicago-Oakland. This actually would be an ALDS, and the Yankees would be with Seattle. In the National League, it would be Arizona and Houston in one LDS, and San Francisco hosting Florida in the other. Glad it's better. Valentin homered his first time up. Second batter of the game. His 21st of the year. He's now driven in 61. Hill just starts the inning. Struck him out. That's 5 for Eric. A 1-2 fastball on the outside corner. 1 out for Ordonez, who is 0 for 1. Ground ball to Tejada. Over to Giambi. Jason's there. And that's 2 out for Konerko, who struck out. So Hill just seems to be a diamond in the rough for Oakland. Remember, Seattle hasn't won that division yet. Not by a long shot. Pitch to Konerko. Popped up left side. The crowd likes it, so does Terrence Long, and that will be caught. No runs, no hits, no errors. Going to the 5th, Eric Comiskey, 2-1 Oakland. So top of the lineup, Dan Wright, 80 pitches, 18 batters, 4 innings, 2 hits. The home run to Tejada a moment ago to make it 2-1 Oakland. He has walked 3 and hasn't struck out anybody. Seems that he would fit right in 1949, wouldn't it? Johnny Damon is 0 for 2. Struck him out. First one for Wright, a full count curveball on the inside. Brings up Jeremy Giambi, who's 0 for 1. Walked in the first. Walks again. So the 4th walk for Wright. Here's Jason Giambi. He's hit 38 home runs on the year. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. 1 out, 2-1 Oakland, top the 5th. Snap throw down to Konerko. And it's a 1-ball count. Chopper to second. Durham to Valentin for 1. Over to Konerko, and that's a double play. So halfway home on a cold and gray day here in Burlington, Vermont, it's Oakland 2, Chicago 1. You joined us late. Here's how we got here. It's been a game of 2 home runs. Jose Valentin in the first, his 21st, to make a 1-0 Chicago. And then Tejada in the fourth, a 2-run shot, his 24th of the year, to make it 2-1 Oakland. Eric Hilgess has pitched well. Just that one hit, the home run, he has struck out 5 through 4. Dan Wright not pitching all that well, just the 2 hits, the 2 runs, but he's walked 4 and thrown 93 pitches through 5 innings. Here's Canseco. He struck out his first time up. Hilgess deals. Chopper down to short. Tejada has to hurry. Canseco can still run. And Jose is safe on an infield hit. So that's only the second hit for the White Sox. Here's Carlos Lee. He struck out. So if you are a Patreon club member of ours on Digital Dice, you could have watched our latest episode live. That hopefully Dave is getting up for everyone else today. So after we were done with that, I belong to a channel called Retro Maven on YouTube. Pitch to Lee. Little ground ball to third. Might be 2. Chavez only play is to first. And Lee is retired. Canseco moves to second. And he, Mr. Retro Maven, was doing a premiere last night that grabbed my eye. Bernie will get a kick out of this as well. Herbert Perry is 0 for 1. Somebody found Mike from the truck on the end of a 2-inch reel of tape. And remember, early videotape cost $200 to $300 of mid-60s money for an hour reel, which is why a lot of things weren't saved. But found in a basement somewhere on tape was the 1963 Belmont Stakes. Pitch to Parry. Ground ball left side. That's going to drop past Tejada in for a single. Canseco will hold at third. So runners on the corners, 1 out for Rowan, who struck out his first time up. Now, here's a couple things. We get used to all this technology and stuff. A couple things that would have never happened today. First of all, they must have been working on Belmont Park, because the Belmont Stakes, for a number of years in the early 60s, was actually run at Aqueduct in New York. Hernandez and Hilgess have a word. Runners on the corners. Rowan is ready. So is Hilgess. And that's a base hit in the shallow left center. Canseco will score to tie it. Damon will throw it back in, and Perry will hold. So Rowan and Perry on, 1 out. And now a 2-2 ball game. And Mark Johnson's going to square. Drops it down. Hernandez throws a Menachino. They'll trade the out. But if Durham can single, that should score 2. Ray is 0 for 2. Hilgess, 18 batters, 4 2/3, 74 pitches, 4 hits. The home run to Valentine in the first hasn't walked anybody and struck out 5. So not only is the Belmont in 63 run at Aqueduct, they used 1 camera for the entire race. Whoever did the camera work for CBS stood there facing the wrong way on what you would consider now for horse racing coverage. The camera faced the stands, as opposed to how a modern race is set when you're showing the tope board and having the camera well in the stands. So the camera is facing the front stretch in the stands, and then pans all the way around to shoot the race. What kind of dolly system was that? Just an absolutely amazing find. So Retro Maven is the name of the channel for that. Durham is 0 for 2. Line drive to Tejada, and that'll do it. But the White Sox get a run on 3 hits, no errors. I told the story after 5, 2-2. So Dye, Long, and Tejada here in the 6th. Wright giving me the fatigue warning. If he's lucky, he can get through the inning. He has not been efficient. Just 93 pitches through 5. Dye has a double and a run scored. He's 1 for 2. Fly ball left field. Lee goes in the corner, and Carlos will make the catch, 1 out. Terrence Long is 0 for 2. Wright kicks and fires. That's into right field. Ordonez coming in, rides a Schwinn, 2 out. So Wright needed an easy inning, and so far he has it. Here's Tejada, who was 1 for 2. He had that 2-run homer in the 4th to put Oakland up 2-1. To ground ball to Valentin. Jose throws over to Konerko, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, and no errors. Bottom of the 6th here at Comiskey Park, 2-2. So Valentin, Ordonez, and Konerko for the White Sox. Jose in the 1st had that home run to deep right field. Grounds this one to left between Tejada and Chavez, and that's a single. So the 5th hit for the White Sox. Here's Ordonez, who's 0 for 2. One more note on that Belmont race that was recovered. It is the oldest television broadcast we have of a Triple Crown race. Bernie says, I love horse racing. It's the original reason you moved to Vegas. It must be legal in Nevada, isn't it? I spent a number of years playing in all the handicapping tournaments in town. Maggie grounds one to the mound. Hill just towards 3rd. Benantino for 1 over to Giambi, and it's a 1-4-3 double play. So 2 out for Konerko, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. When I lived in New Mexico, horse racing was still illegal in Texas. It is not the case anymore. But right on the border, in a small town called Anthony, there was Sunland Park Raceway. And Ruidoso, of course, up in the northeast part of New Mexico, is where the quarter horses ran. Struck him out. Hill just is through 6. He got him looking, and after 6, no runs, a hit, no errors. It's the A's 2, the White Sox 2. Eric Chavez has walked. He's 0 for 1. We are flying right by today. Wright will at least start the 7th. Chavez strikes out. A 1-2 changeup. Ramon Hernandez is 0 for 2. I used to live, when I lived in southern Vermont, across the street from a flat track that trained some of the harness trotters and pacers for Saratoga, which is their year-round track. The thoroughbreds only run there about 6 weeks. Bernie will be posting his Belmont Stakes pre-play, not on an Aqueduct, using TRG PC later today on your Facebook page. So if you're friends with Bernie, you can see that. Ramon Hernandez is 0 for 2. Fly ball left field. Rowan going way back there. That ball is well struck. Hit the top of the wall, and Hernandez is into second with a stand-up double. His 18th of the year. And so here's Benantino, who was 0 for 2. So Wright facing his 27th batter and almost on cue. That should be about what you should be facing. He draws the walk, and that'll do it for Dan. So a full count fastball that missed low and outside. And so we're going to go with Kip Wells. Got a pitching change this game and coming to you from Comiskey Park in Chicago, Illinois. Kip is 24. He's a fastball pitcher, at 93 and a fly ball pitcher. He's made 16 starts. He'll make 3 more towards the end of the year. Primarily now going to be in the pen. And if you're not friends with Bernie, you don't need to worry about that. It's all there on Facebook. Kip is 5-7. That's the good news for Chicago. Not really. The bad news is his earned run average is 606. So Kip has worked out of the pen a few times, including last night against the Rangers in a 5-3 loss. He went 1 clean inning through 10 pitches. 81 2/3, 99 hits, 62 runs, 55 earned, 12 home runs. He's walked 40 while striking out 80. So first and second, Hernandez, the catcher, on second. Menachino on first for Damon, who's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. 1 out, top of the 7th, in a 2-2 ball game here at Comiskey Park. Pitch to Damon. There's a fly ball shallow center field. They're coming in. So is Rowan, and he drops it. So everybody keeps running. The bases are now loaded. It hasn't rained that much, and Rowan just plain dropped it. So here's Jeremy Giambi. Jeremy has walked twice. He's 0 for 1. And on this cool night in Chicago, you can see the steam coming out of Kip Wells' ears. Line drive to Konerko. Damon and Menachino get back, and there's 2 out. So here's Giambi. Jason is 0 for 2 with a walk. So let's see how large this error will loom. Jason has a grand slam this year already and 38 home runs overall. Wells fires, popped up behind the plate. Johnson to the screen, and that's a foul ball. That will hit the screen, and the count now is full. Wells takes a deep breath, kicks and fires. Fly ball right field. Back goes Ordonez, way back there, and off the wall. Hernandez scores. Menachino scores. Damon will score. Giambi, with his 39th double of the year, will clear the bases, and it's 5-2 Oakland. And so somebody will bring out Aaron Rowan's goat horns in a moment. This inning was over. I don't think any of those runs are earned. That brings up Dye, 1 for 3. Jermaine has a double and a run scored. Gone. Well hit. That is off the scoreboard. And now that error looms incredibly large because the inning would be over. Oakland's got a 5 spot on the board as Dye just hit an absolute cannon into left center field. He took a big bertha to that baseball. Oh, my goodness. And so what was a close game isn't so close anymore. Terrence Long is 0 for 3. That's hit well in the center field. Back goes Rowan, and he'll make the catch. Stretch time, 7-2 Oakland. Well, with Giambi and Tejada in the lineup, and they have played awful well, You wouldn't expect that it would be Jermaine Dye who would be the big power hitter, as he put that one so far back into the batter's eye in left center, he came close to hitting that clock on the lower left. And oh boy, did that hurt. So 500 runs, I think, for Oakland in the 7th. Here's Canseco, who was 1 for 2. Jose has struck out, singled, and scored. And strikes out again as Eric Hilges' day is done. Eric about to be a 3-game winner as Louis Vizcaino comes in to pitch. From a quiet Comiskey Park, this game is coming to you from Chicago, Illinois. Louis making his 19th appearance of the year, 2-0, a 6.11 earned run average. 24 years old, throws the slider at around 92 and is a standard pitcher. He last faced the Blue Jays. How you doing, Scotty? On the 14th. Oops, hold on here. Ooh. Something happened to my mom. That's scary, period. You don't remember hitting your head? Question mark. So, in that ball game on the 14th, a 3-2 win over the Blue Jays, he went inning and a third, 16 pitches, and a strikeout. Overall for Louis, 17 2/3, 21 hits, 13 runs, 12 earned, 5 homers, 6 walks, and 11 strikeouts. Carlos Lee leads off, or with 1 out here in the 7th, is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. In the right, Dye will make the catch. 2 out for Herbert Perry, who is 1 for 2 with a single. Vizcaino's pitch shares a ground ball to Tejada. He fields it over to Giambi, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 7-2 Oakland. So Tejada, who has a home run in this game, is 1 for 3 with a run scored. Kip Wells, again, none of those runs, I believe, are earned. Yeah, none of those runs are earned. Oakland has 5 unearned runs in this ballgame. So here is Tejada. 1 for, I already told you that. Here's the pitch. There's a fly ball left field. I think he's got his second home run of the game, as that ball is just crushed down the line and left and foul. Hooking at the last moment. Tejada was almost at first base. Just a long, loud strike and a 1-2 count. That's into center field. Rowan will turn, and that one is off the wall. So Tejada has some pep in his bat, and in his breakfast cereal now has his 28th double. The rain finally has stopped. Never rained all that hard. It's just raining baseballs now for the Oakland A's. Here's Chavez, who's 0 for 2, a walk and a strikeout. Gets away from Johnson, and Tejada moves on to third. So Kip Wells not covering himself in clover. I didn't sub to you, and oh man, this has just been a comedy today here. 2-1 count. Now to Chavez. There's a fly ball to right field. Ordonez will make the catch. Tejada will tag and score without a throw. So Wells finally does give up the earned run, and it's now 8-2. So Hernandez is 1 for 3, double and a run scored with 1 out. There's a little looper into center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. So here's Mendocino. Frank is 0 for 2, a run scored and a walk. Jamie talked earlier, he'd think the White Sox would hold off the A's, and the A's are given a lesson why. Whoever they get in the playoffs, they are going to be pretty scary because they can pitch. Pitch to Frank, fly ball right field. Ordonez will make the grab. Hernandez goes back to first. 2 out for Johnny Damon, who's 0 for 4. Johnny has struck out and scored. Wells deals. Struck him out, and that will end the inning. However, the A's get another run on 2 hits and no errors. After 7.5, it's 8-2 Oakland. So Aaron Rowand, responsible for 5 runs in the 7th, is 1 for 2. He has singled, struck out, and driven in a run. Yeah, Jamie, this era A's were postseason underachievers. They had some great teams. Yeah, deep ball club. Pitch to Rowand. Fly ball or pop up. Left side, foul territory. Chavez moving over. Will make the catch, 1 away. For Mark Johnson, who's 0 for 1. Long drive, left field, and gone. So they'll get 1 back there. That looked almost as foul as the one that Tejada hit a second ago. But it stayed on the right side of the pole. And for Johnson, that's his 2nd home run of the year. It's now 8-3. Hit the opposite way. This would be something, wouldn't it? Here's Ray Durham, who's 0 for 3. Still a 5-run lead for Oakland. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Struck him out. A 1-2 fastball swung on and missed. So 2 out for Valentin, who homered in the first to give the White Sox a 1-0 lead. He has singled since then and struck out. Got him. So Vizcaíno settles down, strikes out the next 2. White Sox get a run on the home run by Johnson, but after 8, it's Oakland 8, Chicago 3. So Jeremy Giambi, followed by Jason Giambi and Jermaine Dye here in the 9th. Wells out to pitch. Yeah, that was quite the hook on the home run. Johnson practices his pitching wedge every once in a while, I guess. Giambi has walked twice. He's 0 for 2. Up the middle, past Durham and Valentin for a base hit. 8th hit for the A's, 880 on your dial. 8 runs, 8 hits, no errors. Oakland is left on 5. Chicago, 3 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors, and they have left on 2. Lobat, by the way, our latest follower. Thanks for the follow during the ballgame. Jason Giambi cleared the bases his last time up with a double, his 39th. He has now driven in 115. Johnson and Wells say, let's not do that again, shall we? Struck him out. So obviously Johnson saw something that was vulnerable for Giambi, and the curve got over for strike 3. 1 away for Dye, who planked his 7th his last time up, and is now driven in 14. He also has a double. He's 2 for 4. Struck him out. So whatever Johnson said to Wells has worked. 2-2 fastball swung on and missed. 2 out in the 9th now for Terrence Long, who is 0 for 4. Fly ball, right field. Ordonez will make the catch, and that will retire the side. No runs, a hit, no errors. We go to the bottom of the ninth. It's Oakland 8, Chicago 3. So Ordonez, Konerko, and Canseco. The White Sox need 5 to tie and 6 to win. Maggie is 0 for 3. He has grounded into a double play. Liner down the line and left. Long will go get it. That's an extra base hit for Ordonez. He's going to stop at 2. Could have tried for 3. And that'll do it for Vizcaíno. Jeff Tam coming into pitch. Tam making his 49th appearance. He is 5-5 with 3 saves and an earned run average of .316. He's 30 years old. Jeff is a fastball pitcher at 90 and a ground ball pitcher. He has won his last 4 decisions. He last pitched 8 days ago against the Red Sox in a 13-6 win. 2 innings, 31 pitches, 2 hits, a walk, and a strikeout. He picked up the save that night. 57 innings, 59 hits, 20 runs, all earned, a home run, 24 walks, and 41 strikeouts. So Konerko is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Ordonez on second. Fly ball to right. Die. Make the catch. Ordonez goes back to tag. And he'll hold 1 away. For Canseco, 1 for 3. 2 strikeouts, a run scored, and a single. Canseco into right, die, pretty much the same play, 2 out. Ordonez reaches back, and again, his chances of going to third keep getting worse and worse and worse. Here's Carlos Lee, last chance saloon for Chicago. He is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Tam trying to lock this down for Oakland, looking for their 78th win. Popped up center field, Damon, and the A's will win this one rather easily. So in 3 hours and 29 fake minutes, Oakland has beaten the White Sox by the score of 8-3. 8 runs, 8 hits, no errors, and they left on 6. 3 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors, and Chicago left on 3. Tejada, his home run, is your digital dice MVP. Hill just 3-0 now. 6 1/3, 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned. The home run to Valentin to start the ball game, and struck out 7. And the bullpen did their job. Dan Wright, not great. 6 1/3, 3 hits, 4 runs, 2 earned, a home run, walking 5 and striking out 2. And Kip Wells gave up 3 unearned runs, 4 in total, and struck out 3. Going to do a rush close on this because I got some stuff going on. Have yourselves a great weekend. We'll talk to you next Wednesday live. We'll be with you before that for our next game in our 2001 replay. Have a good weekend, everybody. So long.